What's going on? The theAPEcoach from Six-Pack Gaming, where we bring you the best play-to-earn NFT games and new Metaverse projects. Now today, I am pumped to be sharing a brand new game still in development. This is a play-to-earn NFT game that is an MMORPG. It's going to be a player-driven economy, but there's a strong focus on fun first, on developing a legit MMO game, and then working the blockchain elements into that and having an economy run by the players more so than NPCs and things. So I'm super excited about it, and we're gonna go over all of it right here, right now. So be sure to smash that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed and got notifications turned on, and let's dive right into this. Alright, so here is World Eternal Online. This thing gives me serious vibes of like World of Warcraft type thing, but coming to NFT gaming. This is something that I have been waiting for and hoping for, and this game looks like it is going to deliver in a big way. So let's just go over the site here real quick. You can see the graphics look phenomenal already here. So it's a Sandbox MMO. It's a new Sandbox MMO with a player-driven economy and blockchain integration. So players are invited to slay huge raid bosses, conquer territory in this dynamic, ever-changing world. So it says there's a player-driven economy, there's an ever-changing world. So what the players do in the game actually shapes the world itself and unlocks new like dungeons and zones and bosses and events in the world. So super cool. True MMORPG fashion. There's going to be massive raid bosses, PvP sieges between guilds, which yes, there's going to be guilds as well. There's going to be land ownership. There's going to be the ability to earn while playing, although the actual game itself is going to be free to play. So the basics, the basic functions of the MMO, like going around and, you know, fighting monsters and gathering resources and doing just like typical things like that, those are going to be off chain. So you're going to be able to like do those things, you know, in the free to play sort of aspect of that, and you won't have to be constantly going through, you know, confirming gas fee transactions and all this sort of stuff, right? Which is amazing, and that's something that true MMOs absolutely need. And then where the blockchain gets integrated into is land ownership. There's going to be basically any regular like NPC that you would see in a traditional MMORPG that's going to be essentially owned and run by the players in the game. So you're going to have player controlled blacksmithing, you're going to have player controlled cities and towns, you're going to have player controlled guilds, and all of these things are going to be the NFTs and the blockchain integration. So you're going to go around, play the game, gather resources and things like that, and then you're going to have to interact with the blockchain in order to, you know, craft new gear, buy new gear off of other players in, you know, the open market and all of those kinds of things. So super cool concept, and you know, this is something that I have been waiting for in the NFT gaming space. And yeah, so let's go over all of this here. So there's going to be mythic heroes, as it says here. So there's diversity is key when tackling the various bosses, dungeons in the World Eternal Online. There will be 40+ heroes to collect at launch, and players can switch to any hero as long as they're not in combat. Every hero has 4 skills, and although some extremely rare versions might have more, okay, so every hero generally has 4, but I believe the initial like Genesis ones are going to get an additional permanent trait or a permanent skill kind of thing. So you have an option to essentially have more skills, and it says a set of random traits they will have as well. And then it also says, you know, even 2 heroes of the same type will have major differences. So there's going to be a lot of unique elements to each of the heroes based on their traits and their skills and their stats and all of that sort of stuff. And then it also says heroes can greatly increase their stats and rarity by absorbing other heroes and their traits. So there's going to be essentially an NFT burning mechanism where you can take multiple heroes and fuse them into one in order to ascend one of the heroes, and this will allow you to increase the rarity of your heroes. So you can actually go from a common up to an uncommon to a rare to an epic to a legendary through basically merging multiple NFT heroes together. So that is an awesome feature, and another way to kind of improve the rarity of these heroes and to control the population as well, right, to hold the value of them. There's also going to become a land baron, so there's going to be land NFT sales, and this is where, you know, guilds can set up their guild headquarters in a city. You're going to basically be able to own land and rent that out to merchants and crafters and stuff like that on the land. So again, this is part of that player driven economy. You could just be a real estate mogul in this if you want, right? You could just own a whole bunch of land if that's what you want to go for, and you could probably just collect passive income through the rentals on your land, right? And then there's also going to be crafting weapons, potions, breeding of pets, and these pets are going to be used to go around, gather resources and gold and things like that for you for crafting and potions. And then you're going to be able to set up a merchant shop. You know, maybe you want to be a merchant. You can rent land, rent a stall off of one of these landowners, and then set up a shop. And you could just craft unique weapons or potions that you can resell to other players. Or maybe you just want to be a breeder. You could breed pets with unique traits and stuff, and then sell those rare pets to other players as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can, have ownership in the game, take part in the player-driven economy and play to earn without, the typical sort of, just click and collect and, pick up little bits of cryptocurrency from each of the monsters that you fight. So very unique system in the play to earn space. And so now something of this scale and of this nature, a true like sandbox MMO in this open world, ever-changing thing, it needs to have a solid team behind it. And so this is an article from GameSpeed here, or VentureBeat. So Core Loop is the company that they founded, the game studio that they founded, and they've already raised $12 million to help support the development of their sandbox MMO here. And so the team was started, or the company Core Loop here was started about a year and a half ago or so, by this Vincenzo Allegna and Dan Chao. Said they fired up Core Loop, and initially they raised about $2.5 million to develop this game, but they didn't have any sort of blockchain elements planned for the game. And then they decided, with the integration of blockchain, the sort of opportunities that it would present for them, so they decided to go ahead with incorporating blockchain technology into the game. And then that is where additional capital came from Andreessen Horowitz, the A16Z here, as well as Galaxy Digital, Initial Capital, Dune Ventures, One Up Ventures, and Sisu Game Ventures. So all of these additional investors bought in on this because they decided to integrate the blockchain, and now they have over $12 million to fund the development of this game. So that is amazing. And these guys are not, new in the world of game development, which is important because, like I said, a game of this sort of level requires a strong team. So Allegna, who is CEO, says he has roots in Machine Zone and Gree and has worked for more than 20 years in technical roles. Allegna was president and chief technology officer and oversaw multi-billion-dollar franchise games such as Game of War, Fire Age, Mobile Strike, and Final Fantasy 15: A New Empire. So probably some games that you might be familiar with. And then Chao, president, has also been in games for more than 20 years as an engineer, game designer, and producer for PC, mobile, and console. He was the lead designer at Funzio, which was later acquired by Gree for $210 million. He led design on multi-million-dollar titles such as Crime City, Modern War, and War of Nations. And then it says their team is fully remote and spread across the US, Canada, Australia, Europe, Japan, and New Zealand. And it says, we believe the next generation of MMOs will combine the best of social and systems design from traditional MMOs with a Web3 powered virtual economy built on true ownership and the ability for players to earn a living in the game. Okay, and so that is one of the partners at Andreessen Horowitz, and said Core Loop is leading the way, and we couldn't be more excited to work together. So the very nice thing about this is, they're focused on fun first. Chao said that they had to focus on making a fun game first rather than just paying attention to, things with blockchain, right? Like if all they did was focus on the money and how they could like monetize and implement blockchain tech, there's a million other games out there that have already done that, and the games kind of suck as a result of that, right? And so he says we're making a fun game first. He thinks the intersection of blockchain and the MMO genre is perfect. Players can drive the world forward by working together. So it says, imagine a giant walking across the world that requires a large group of players to kill it. When it's killed, it falls over a mountain to reveal a dungeon that links to a new zone. And so like that is kind of crazy to think, right? So players are going to have the ability to team up, work together, form guilds, take on these giant raid bosses, take them down, and that will actually shape the world and open up new events and zones and stuff in the world. And if you come over to their Twitter, they actually have a little video here of what one of these massive raid boss battles would look like. So you've got all these different heroes attacking this thing. You've got this massive giant enemy here. Very, very cool. Really reminds me of like Warcraft or like WoW, teaming up and doing the big boss raids. So then this is just a bit of a summary of what we went over in that last article there, but it says building the next generation of MMOs, and it's Core Loop was founded by veterans of Machine Zone, Gree, and Funzio. So it's got Vincenzo Allegna there and Dan Chao, CEO, CTO, and president. And then you can click right into their LinkedIn, and you can find Core Loop on LinkedIn there. It's got all the employees. You can check out Vincenzo, Dan Chao, they're digital marketers, leading gaming, product lead, marketing specialist, software engineer, community manager, all these sort of things that are linked to Core Loop. And you can see, the CEO here, Vincenzo, he has right on here, CTO and president of the game studio here, CTO of the game studio, senior director of engineering, worked at that Gree, game sys, so a lot of gaming and development background, and then also has a degree in software engineering. So he's legitimate. And then same with Dan Chao, right? You've got the president and product, so he's from San Francisco area as well. And so monetization and system design consultant, game consulting. So that is very nice to see that, considering this is going to be incorporating money, right? Monetization in the blockchain aspects and elements here. So to see that he has experience in designing monetization systems and strategies is very, very solid. And it just has his different roles. Penn State University as a computer engineer. So again, just nice to see a fully doxed team, and they all have experience. There is some additional guides that you can find in their Discord here as well. If you come to where is it? I think it's in links here. Yeah, so they have some different articles and stuff like that, or you can find them on Medium here, medium.com/worldeternalonline. I'll link it down below as well. They have a few articles that they put out over the past few days. Gives you an overview of the heroes. It says here as well, there's going to be Gen 0 heroes and their sort of initial sale. These heroes are going to have different rarities, factions, skills, levels, and traits, and then they'll also be able to equip various weapons and gear. They're going to have different skills and ultimates. It says each hero has 4 unique skills that they can use during battle. They'll attack monsters with an auto attack similar to a MOBA. Heroes will have incredible skills like calling a meteor from the sky, so that's kind of like this. They're going to have healing their teammates, stunning bosses with lightning, summoning minions, and more. You're going to be able to level them up with experience. You're going to be able to equip weapons and armor. They're going to have various traits, so it says there's 50 different trait types, or 50 plus different trait types, and I guess over 300 different individual traits. And so here's some examples of them. So XP drop is plus 5%, so you gain 5% more experience for every monster you kill, and then all of these things. And then it says traits are very powerful since they'll scale your stats of your hero and gear, and during the pre-sale, heroes will have an additional Gen 0 trait which is immutable and carried forever. Okay, so getting in on the pre-sale, which is still to come. Okay, you haven't missed it. You have the chance to get in on the absolute ground floor, which is why I'm so excited to be bringing this to you now. These are going to have the Gen 0 trait, so these are going to be extremely rare. the ones that you can get in the pre-sale. There's going to be different rarities and factions. So there's going to be 5 different rarities: common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. And rarity actually controls 3 different aspects of your hero. So the max level they can reach, their base stats, and the number of traits the heroes can have. So it says commons have a single trait and a max level of 20. But then it also says that there's rarity ascension, so heroes can absorb other heroes to increase their rarity, their stats, their max level, and their number of traits. And this kind of goes over a bit of that. If you have a common Tiberius, he can ascend to an uncommon by absorbing 2 other common heroes that share his faction, which is the King's Arm. So there's going to be different factions that these heroes stem from, and so you're gonna have to combine multiple heroes from the same faction in order to ascend whatever hero you want. And then it says during the ascension, a hero will receive a random trait from one of the heroes that it absorbs. And then when you reach the max rarity, so when you get up to legendary, you can redo the ascension to replace a trait of your choosing. And so different traits will be good on certain heroes, but also be good in certain battles to ensure a diverse set of heroes. So it says ascending a hero with the right traits will require a ton of strategy and will really boost the power and value of a hero. So that's very, very cool. They're thinking, you know, very long-term end game sort of grinding MMO fashion where you can basically build up the most rare and powerful sort of heroes over time. And then it says there's other things here that, you know, a player that owns every legendary hero in a faction will be able to periodically perform a special faction summoning ritual, and this will guarantee an epic hero. So the higher rarity heroes that you have and the more higher rarity heroes that you have, the better heroes you're going to be able to continue summoning and that sort of thing. So that is very cool. There are Eternals that are extremely rare, very, very limited amount. It says if the player owns a legendary Eternal in the faction summoning ritual, then it will guarantee that the summoned hero will have a maxed out trait. So this is very, very cool. And then it just says presale article coming soon. We'll be sure to post an article answering all your questions about the presale, how it'll work, and what you'll need beforehand. So definitely something you want to keep your eyes open for, right? You want to get into the Discord, you know, make sure that you're, you know, paying attention in here, checking out their announcements and things like that. They have some giveaways and stuff that they've been doing in like contests and things like that as well. So, you know, definitely I'm gonna link it down below, so make sure you know, join up there and make sure you're staying up to date if this is something that you feel like you want to get in on. And yeah, I think it looks phenomenal. There's some other articles here too as well, going over like hero battles and all the different stuff that you can craft. So it basically says monsters will never drop like gear that heroes can wear or potions or things like that. What the monsters will drop will be materials and resources, and then you're gonna have to use those resources and craft them, or a crafter is going to have to craft them for you, and you're gonna have to buy them off of that in order to get the gear for your heroes and stuff like that. So this goes over a lot more of that stuff in detail. I don't want this video to be, you know, 2 hours long, but we could go into depth on everything here, but we'll continue to update as the game develops further. There's going to be player towns. So like we said here, players purchase land deeds to claim an empty town. We call these players land barons. So you could be a land baron. It's pretty dope. A town contains a collection of building stalls. Land barons rent out the building stalls to crafters. Player crafters must own a medallion, like a blacksmith medallion, to rent a building stall and place their shop. So this is like a license to be a blacksmith, and then you have to rent that portion of land in order to open up shop there. And then players pay these crafters to make unique gear, potions, etc. Crafters must acquire recipes and can also specialize their shop. Towns will also be a place where the most successful guilds will be able to set up headquarters. So very, very cool. There's going to be player-owned towns, player-owned crafting stations or shops that you can like specialize and be able to craft stuff for other players in the game. Or, you know, if you know, we get enough of us in here that are all bullish on this and we build up a huge guild, a Six Pack Gaming guild here, we could, you know, work together and have some players that are specifically geared towards crafting, you know, these particular items, others that are focused on breeding, others that are focused on potions and things like that. And then, you know, that way you can work together with your guild members and create a very strong economy within your own guild. And then when it says, I think down here it says more stuff to come, right? There's going to be PvP fortress sieges. There's going to be mass PvP guild battles, guilds, dungeons, world zones, territory control. So you're going to be able to take over different plots of territory in the game with different various resources, gear sets and upgrading, world events. So there's going to be like everything that you would hope for in a solid, full featured MMORPG. It seems like they have plans for that to come, so very, very excited for that. This lists out, you know, the NFTs that we went over. The heart of the economy is going to be the WEO token, and players can use those for buying lands, renting buildings, upgrading, crafting buildings, buying, crafting recipes, upgrading your heroes, all of that stuff. And then you'll be able to earn these tokens by doing quests, winning events, killing bosses, and more. Now, there is a little bit more info here on characters and stuff, so we'll kind of use this as a summary of the main points of the game, tell you a little bit about some of the character info that they've released so far, and then from there, you know, the next thing to do will just be to make sure that, you know, you're joining their Discord, you're following them on social, joining their Twitter, and just kind of keeping up with this, because again, nothing has been announced yet, nothing has been released for, you know, the IDO, for the initial NFT sales, for any of that stuff. But I definitely think this thing has massive potential. And again, not financial advice. Please do your own research. Don't just ape into something without looking into it, regardless of what I say or what any other YouTuber or influencer or whatever you want to call the people say. Make sure you take some time, do your research, read through these articles on the game, you know, maybe look into some of the investors, initial capital, Dune Ventures, whatever. Do some research on that and make an informed decision for yourself if you're wanting to get into it. Okay, now, if you are wanting to, let's go over the sort of recap here. So WO is an MMORPG made for mobile and PC. I don't know if I mentioned that, but mobile and PC, which is great. So the idea that Chao was saying in one of the articles was basically that you'll be able to do more like simple features and just grind and, you know, do like farming type things on your mobile device, so that when you're, you know, at work or school or whatever, you can kind of keep grinding. And then when you go home later, then you can hop on the PC. You can do things like boss raids and dungeons and all those things that are a little bit more complex, right? So that's very cool that they're focusing on both mobile and PC. Then it says players control a party of 3 heroes to fight monsters, level up, gather resources, and play with others. There's a vast continent composed of different biomes like grasslands, frozen tundra, canyon, deserts, etc. Each area has their own city where players can craft hero equipment, research new tech, buy items, and increase their reputation with the city for added benefits. Players can also buy cute, fantastical pets to help them gather food and mine gold in the wilderness. It's an easy to control MMO that is similar to controlling a hero in League of Legends. WEO encourages cooperation where players need to prepare for gigantic raid boss battles. Choosing the right heroes from 40 plus heroes available and gearing them up correctly is the key to success. These boss battles means players can change the world in meaningful ways, like opening up a new area or causing a new event to occur. So that's super cool. And then battling other players in PvP is also important, where factions vie to control territory to gain access to dungeons or valuable resources to craft the best hero equipment. Okay, and then here are some of the characters. We got Lila, the Prodigy. This is the assassin damage nuker, and then she has skills like scorching swipe, combustive blow, fiery illusions. So this summons 3 illusions for Lila, each with scorching swipe enabled. Each illusion deals 50% damage and receives 150% damage when attacked. So that's very cool. She can summon these different like mirage type characters and stuff to attack and take on some damage. You've got your support, disabler, healer. So this is, you know, the one that can stun the enemies and do different heal your allies and stuff like that. You've got your protective tank here, Tiberius Wingard. So he's got, you know, binds 3 allies for 30% of the damage received by allies is directed to Tiberius, so he can take hits from other players. Essentially, he can buff the armor of all the players by 10 for the next 8 seconds, that sort of stuff. A disabler AoE damage dealer. This sounds amazing. This is definitely one that I would want personally. But Dark Primeval, it's also just a dope name. But Shadow Nova, Withering Fear, Blighted Grounds. You're gonna be able to, this is where she's gonna have like AoE damaging spells, maybe damage over time spells and stuff like that as well. So you can dish out a lot of damage at range to multiple different enemies at once. You've got your Guardians, this Initiator melee tank, so this is the guy that just runs in and just starts tanking everything. You've got your Control damage dealer. You've got different heroes here without all their details, but Moonlight Zeldana, Canyoner, Brigitte, Blood Savage, you know, all these different types of weapons, different factions. Mara Heartfire, Cursed One Takahashi. This guy looks crazy. He looks like Venom coming off of this blade. But yeah, so lots of different heroes, different factions, different elements and attacks and skills and stuff. So very, very cool. Then you have the pets. So it says the Penchilla. These cute little buggers are highly trainable and have an exceptional sense of smell. They can find food from miles away and can be one of the most loyal friends ever. They're adaptable to different climates. They're highly social, and they sound like little school children playing, apparently. And then there's, you know, different monsters. The Dougal. They have begun building strongholds between our territories to separate our forces. An ironclad wall separates us from our brethren in the north and is guarded by one of the Dougal, right? So these are some of the monsters. So that's just a little bit of additional info that we have so far on the various heroes and monsters and things like that. So as you can see, there is a ton to this game, and you know, not a ton of info and specific details on every little feature because it's a lot, but there's going to be more releasing as the thing's developing. And again, you have not yet missed the pre-sale. Okay, so all of these things, pre-sale is coming soon. So there's going to be the very first Generation Zero heroes, and then we can look forward to things like land and, you know, pets and all these sort of things. All right, so if you guys want to sign up for the closed beta, come to their site, just enter your email here, click sign up, and, you know, enter in that, and then make sure you're following on socials if you want to stay up to date on it. So that is everything for World Eternal Online. I am super pumped for this one, super bullish, but let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you guys are interested in? Have you been looking for an MMORPG? Is that your style of game? Personally, me, I love it. This was what I kind of grew up playing, these MMORPGs. I spent so much time grinding these as I was growing up and through high school and stuff like that. So to be able to get a game like this with blockchain integrated, I'm all for it. I'm pumped. I definitely want to build a guild, get some land, do all that fun, great stuff that MMOs offer. And, you know, if we can earn through that as well, then that's just a bonus, right? But let me know your thoughts, leave some comments down below. Let me know if you guys are bullish on this, if you guys, you know, if this isn't your cup of tea or whatever. But we are gonna have a ton of new updates on this as the thing develops. We're gonna have a lot of new games and stuff coming to the channel as well, so make sure you smash that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed and got notifications turned on. And that is going to be pretty much everything for now, but I do want to quickly remind you guys that we do have a free NFT giveaway going on. All you got to do is come to the channel, come to the latest video here, the Pegaxi video, and the details for the giveaway are in the description here. So we have a free Fusemon NFT giveaway. It's also in the top pinned comment. Just, you know, watch that video, find out how to enter that, because you don't want to miss that chance for a free NFT. Okay, so that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. And I'm pumped for this, right? So let me know your thoughts. And as always, until next time, train hard, game hard, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.